Tonight's special guest is Rob Young, and Rob is here celebrating with us the 200th show of The Beat Goes On. Back in November 2008, when The Beat Goes On started, Rob Young was a property developer. Well, we all know what happened next, the global financial meltdown. 200 shows and 5 years later, Rob is again back in the marketplace. The Dow Jones stands at 15,000. Does this mean things are now back to normal? We welcome Rob Young as our special guest on The Beat Goes On. It's a big welcome to Rob Young. Welcome to The Beat Goes On.
Thank you.
Now, Rob, you're here today. We're celebrating 200 shows for The Beat Goes On. And around about the time we started, it was 2008, late 2008. And we were going along for a couple of months. It was going well. And then suddenly the world fell apart. That was called the Great Financial Turmoil. And of course, Rob, you're here today because you are in the world of developing, sometimes in the world of finance. And it seems I'm now starting to hear. I'm starting to hear that you're back in business again and doing well. So obviously that 5 years, the world is back in business again.
Well, the world is back in business. It actually never was out of business. There was a lot of economic turmoil, if you like. It's commencing in the United States with overheated markets, derivatives, all sorts of things collapsing, and the major banks and major traders on Wall Street needing a bit of help. Unfortunately, it was an explosion in finance, if you like, and it caused a ripple effect, and it went throughout the whole world. New Zealand wasn't spared. At about that time, or very shortly afterwards, Bank of Scotland started asking for its money back that they'd advanced developers for developing parts of Auckland and Queenstown and places like that. They weren't in a position to repay it. We kind of went into a recession period and economic turmoil, if you like. Every day in the newspapers, what's going to happen. Out of the ashes, the phoenix is rising, all right? Life goes on. We've moved on. It's an event. It's past. What has happened is that everybody I know is now 3 or 4 years older than they were, obviously. Demands
3 or 4 years old, wiser.
And perhaps wiser.
Yeah.
But also we've had thousands of kids leave school. We've had thousands of kids go into university. We've had thousands of people graduate from university in life's great parade. That didn't stop. And as a consequence of a lack of money in the money markets, and I'll talk about for a moment with you, we've lost 31 finance companies over a period of 5 years. 31 finance companies.
Yes.
Big ones, strong ones, some not quite so strong, but we've lost them all, if you like. These were the source of money for developers and builders. And if you take a city like Auckland, you need 6,000 new homes a year to cope with the people who live in the district and those migrating.
Just a normal growth alone.
Normal growth. You need 20,000 a year throughout all of New Zealand, but you needed 6 minimum just in Auckland. Well, the money supply wasn't available to the builders to build spec houses for the first home buyers market and whatever. And as a consequence of that, we are now, in Auckland in particular, thousands of residences in arrears, if you like, to the catch-up phase. And it's going to take years to catch up. The obvious spike of this, of course, is rents. Every day in the newspapers in Auckland, and perhaps around the other country too, in Christchurch, where through a natural disaster, the rents have spiraled. And today, people will spend, a young couple, half of, one income will be required to pay the rent. It's not that they don't want a mortgage, they would love a mortgage. There's just nothing around to buy. What is happening, there's a lot of people are going to auctions at the moment, and they're bidding for houses in Auckland, and they're expecting, well, I might be able to get this house for $300,000 or $400,000. Hello, it goes under the hammer for $500,000, $600,000, and the person who buys it realises that they've paid more for it than anybody else was prepared to, but everything seems to be going to auction. We are in a price hike. How long it'll last for, I don't know, but I do know this, that those people who aren't buying because there's not a lot around to buy are paying through the nose in their rent. The rents are simply massive.
hence this wonderful brochure in front of me. And I noticed that you're active in the marketplace again, Rob, and I thought, oh, it's good to see Rob back in business. What do you think, looking at this wonderful presentation, what does the market want today? This show's about baby boomers.
Okay.
What would mum and dad, who had a nice, big, old and rambling home in Mount Eden, and kids have all gone, they're empty nesters, what should they be doing?
Well, they probably already had a knock on the door from a local estate agent saying, look, the market's really hot, let's put your house to market because we can get you $1 million. You know what? They probably will. So they're thinking, well, if we did sell, we don't really want to leave the area, but yes, this house might be a bit too large for us to manage anymore. So they're listening to what's going on. I mean, if they see a house selling in their street for $1 million, they'd like to know they can get the same for theirs. Right now, the market is full of people actively thinking. Now, if you or I were in a restaurant somewhere and we had a bunch of people we'd never met and we were sitting around a dinner table and we were wondering what to do to promote conversation, all you have to do, I have to do, or anybody has to do is say, what do you think of the property market? Suddenly, everybody's got an opinion because every day there's an article in the paper and it's all positive.
Yes.
And it's good to be in an environment with positive news, isn't it?
Oh, it's wonderful. After that dreadful 5 years we've just gone through. Oh.
Yeah, it's good now.
But what about the baby boomer who wants to keep that rambling old home in Mount Eden, and he just wants to invest some of his lotto winnings?
A very, very good point, because you see a lot of those baby boomers had money in the larger finance companies and lost a lot of it. Some people lost everything, but they still got their home. Yeah. And we've got to remember that bricks and mortar always stands the test of time.
Yes, they do, don't they?
Lose money in shares, whatever, and buy script and notes and whatever, and put it into fanciful schemes. But at the end of the day, it's tangible property. You can touch it. It doesn't go anywhere.
You can kick it.
You can kick it.
Get a sore toe.
But it won't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's generally worth more every 10 years than it used to be, you know, so you can take advantage of that. We're seeing now baby boomers who realise that this is maybe the last time round that they can get a mortgage. 60 is not old anymore. Not old at all. 70 is not old anymore.
Thanks for telling me that, Rob.
I'm letting you know, all right? The banks are lending to 60-year-olds, they're lending to 65-year-olds, or even lending to 70-year-olds.
Wow.
And they're saying if you want to get into the property market, that's okay, because for us as a bank, that's a good investment. It's tangible, you know, it's good security for us. They also know that this might be the last time that you can get a mortgage in your lifetime, where you can have somebody else effectively pay it off for you. Not all of it immediately, but in time they will. And I'll give you an example.
What? They can pay it off you?
Well, let's look at this. Yeah. You purchase, say, an apartment in Auckland, a nice one, in a nice part of town with a good view. Tenants would knock you down in the rush today if you had it, right? The second thing is that somebody going into that apartment will go and work all of Monday, all of Tuesday, all of Wednesday, and probably Thursday morning too. And everything they earn over that 3.5 days,
to you, isn't it?
They give to you as the owner on a Friday, saying, look, I've been in your place, I've looked after your place, thank you for letting me stay there. Take my 3 or 4 days' pay, use it to pay off your mortgage, and I'll do the same for you next week as well. And you landlords are realising, hang on, I work 40 hours a week in my job, you know, in the office or whatever they do. I've got a guy going to work 30 hours a week for me, and the owner is now being paid for 70 hours labour, but only having to work 40. And what's happening now is we're getting people to realise that you don't have to work hard to get ahead, you just need to work smart.
Gosh.
That's all.
Yeah, it's so true, isn't it?
Don't work hard, work smart. There's an opportunity there. If you were to acquire another property, don't worry about the deposit. You know, there's plenty of good loans and things around. You could acquire another property now, and somebody else, it'll be like a concrete money box, they'll start to fill it up for you. It'll start to pay for itself. And right now, gosh, Auckland rents, the average rent being paid right now would support a $400,000 mortgage. Isn't that incredible?
That's amazing, isn't it?
It's amazing. Now, the younger people who haven't saved a deposit yet, they're caught in the rent spiral. They are paying $400, $500, $600 a week as if it doesn't matter. You know, they're now people and they can't afford to wait. You know, they'd like a house in the suburbs. It's going to take ages to save up, etc. They're caught. You know, they're paying the rent. we are seeing some parents at long last saying, well, maybe we should think about making a little investment with our kids. Maybe we might be able to offer a little bit of equity in our own home, not much, just a little bit. Maybe that becomes a deposit, because at least they'd be paying the rent to us and not to somebody that they don't know.
Now, Rob, you're active in the marketplace again, so
Yeah.
tell me what's your latest project?
I'm promoting at the moment the idea, it's a wonderful property going up in Freeman's Bay, and I don't know if you're
Great
familiar
area.
with it, but
Yes.
for the viewers who perhaps don't know, it's a very leafy suburb right next to the city. It's a 5-minute walk from Queen Street.
Yeah.
And when you walk through Freeman's Bay, it's beautiful leafy avenues and charming older villas and so on.
Where do I sign?
No, it's a very, very nice place, with Auckland Girls Grammar in it and so on, but it's a very, very nice area indeed. There's a new development of apartments. They're going to take a little while to build, but people are now entering the market and they're having a look at this building and saying, well, if I was to secure one in here, and a price is agreed, of course, I put my foot on it, I put my name on it. You pay a notional deposit, which goes into a lawyer's trust account, and it's held in trust for you by that lawyer.
Yeah.
Not a penny goes to the builder
Yeah.
until it's finished and you've got your front door keys.
Yeah.
But it's there, it's safe. You lock it away at today's price, and let's just say today's price was, say, $380,000, for example. You've secured it at that. Over the next 18 months or so,
It
the
could
building
go up. Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
the building will be finished.
Yeah.
It may have escalated in value. And if you look around what's going on at the moment,
It's got to.
all the indicators are suggesting that.
Rob, I could talk to you for days. It's fascinating. You talk wonderful sense, but if some of our baby boomer viewers
Yeah.
would like to have a chat to you, how would they go about it? Have
Well, you simply dial an Auckland number.
what's that number, Rob?
That's 09 for Auckland, of course. And
Yes, 09 for Auckland,
then 369
369
56
56
00.
00. 369
56.
5600.
Mhm.
Wonderful. So all you have to do is give you a call and have a quick chat. And if they do come and see you, they can sit down and
We
of
can
course
sit
have a cup
down,
of coffee. And
have a cup of coffee, discuss it, and see if this is something that may be right for you.
yeah.
It probably is,
Yeah.
but let's have a look at it and let's talk about it.
Rob, thank you for coming in on our 200th show.
Yes, thank
and,
you. It's an honour. Thank
we'll
you.
see you in show 300, 400 or 600. When would you like to come back?
Before. Anytime. Be good to see
No,
you.
I'll see you soon. Okay.
Right.
Thanks, Rob. Thank you, Rob. The Beat Goes On. We'll be back after the break with Kerry Adams from Music Planet.